Hey, camera marker.
Yay, we're making a movie, and it's a Friday the 13th movie. It's Jason Voorhees. This is freaking awesome.
Marker. Here we go.
Adam Marcus, get on out here.
You know, I was 23 when I made this movie. Why the fuck would anyone let a 23-year-old direct a franchise movie, right?
He was a child. He was a baby. He was like damn good director, knew his business.
Adam had just this great energy about it.
It was a tight schedule and tight budget.
We shot 1,000 setups in 30 days.
Blood everywhere.
Please! How was that? It was fucking gorgeous. Okay.
My favorite kill in the movie is the split body.
Look, if you're gonna die, go big or go home. Dying while having an orgasm, and as an actor, I was like, that's like a steak dinner.
That's some crazy shit. I knew we would get one shit in there.
Oh, you got blood all over you.
That makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog to a donut.
What does this line mean? What the hell am I saying?
To this day, I have no fucking clue.
And action! It wasn't even a discussion. It was, Kane Hodder's going to do the movie. Well, yeah, he is Jason. The guy has kill tattooed on the inside of his lip.
There it is.
That's Kane.
People probably roll their eyes and stuff, but I honestly feel like I was born to play Jason. Now get out of the shot before I fucking kill you.
Action!
When I saw the bust of me in the makeup trailer, I was a little weirded out.
I've got a black tongue going out of my mouth 6 feet.
Everybody's on set going, yeah, that's a penis, you know.
That's shocking.
The initial reaction was not great.
It was not loved.
It was the worst garbage in the world.
I was actually disappointed.
I've had 3 people wish me ass cancer. Wow, man, why is it always about my ass?
Whether the fans liked it or not, here we are, all these years later, still talking about it.
If you don't like it, you can go to hell.
This isn't the movie for nuance. You know?
Cut!
And joining me tonight, special return guest, dear friend of mine, the writer, director, and actor, let's not forget actor, of Jason Goes to Hell, Mr. Adam Marcus. Adam, welcome back to the Witching Hour podcast, my friend.
Hey, brother, it's awesome to be back.
It is so good to have you. Folks, real short, not that I even need to bother boring anybody with this. A little bit of history on Mr. Marcus here. A couple films you might have heard of in the past. Texas Chainsaw 3D, one of my absolute all-time favorite, autographed, framed in my living room right next to my TV, Secret Santa. Mind-fucking-blowing movie if you've never seen it. Absolute have to. And of course, Jason Goes to Hell, which is the prime reason why we are here tonight. We are here to discuss the future, the release of Hearts of Darkness. So, Adam, tell us how the journey's been. Tell us where we are exactly.
Well, look, the journey has been, it's funny, my director on the film, because I produced the movie. I didn't direct the documentary. I was never going to direct a documentary about me. That is just gross. So I was not going to pull a Val Kilmer on this and get my son to direct it either. So I got a real filmmaker. I got a guy named Michael Felsher, who, by the way, was our second director on the film. We had a director on the movie, and we just had differences in the way we saw the world and the way we saw this movie, and just sort of, the direction of it wasn't going where I was hoping the movie would go. And we parted and everything was cool, all good.
Good.
And then I went to Peter Bracke and begged him to get me another director immediately, because he's the one who brought the first director to me. And he had about 5 guys that wanted to do the job. One guy who was Peter's like go-to. It was like, this is the guy you got to meet. You got to meet Michael Felsher. And I'd heard of Michael. I knew Michael's work, but I'd never met the guy. And I was like, yeah, I mean, shoot, I'd just like to meet the dude. So yeah, let's do that. He says, I want you to meet him first. I said, okay, let's meet him. So I met Michael Felsher, and have you seen the Monster Squad documentary, Wolfman Got Nards?
Parts of it, yes. As a matter of fact,
okay.
Yes.
So I'm a huge fan of that movie. That movie played with Secret Santa at a few festivals way back when we were on the road with Secret Santa.
Okay.
And yeah, and I know Andre, who was the star of that movie, but also directed the documentary about the film. Mm-hmm. And so I'm a huge fan. Anyway, myself and my producing partner, Ali Rivera Quinones, we went on a Zoom call with Michael, and we weren't a minute in where I was like, look, I just want to know how you see the movie. He had seen a lot of the footage. We'd sent him footage to take a look at it before we met. And he said, Adam, have you seen a movie called Wolfman Got Nards? And I just was like, uh-huh. And he started to pitch the movie he wanted to make. This is not a joke. Allie and myself, both of us, tears started rolling down our faces. Oh. I'm not kidding. Because it was as though the clouds parted and finally someone came in with a real vision for the movie and wanting to make a movie. And here's the other thing. You know, there's a lot of filmmakers who will get on a call with you or talk to you about a movie that you want them to make. And so many filmmakers are so afraid to reference other people's work. They always try to reference their own work because they don't want you to go like, oh, you know what, that might be a better director for the movie, and you go get them. Right. And I know the people who made Wolfman, and they would have loved to have made this movie. We talked. But I have to tell you, the fact that Michael brought up another filmmaker's documentary, when this guy's made over 400 documentaries, that speaks volumes about who Michael is. Like, I was like, this guy's a real artist. Like, he understands how to reference. You know, when I met with my cinematographer, Bill Dill, and this is kind of a big story about Jason Goes to Hell. It's a little bit in the documentary, but I've told this before. You know, Bill Dill did not want to shoot that movie. Bill Dill was an award-winning art house documentarian and shooter. And he came to meet with me as a favor to his agent, who was a friend of mine. And we sat down for what was going to be a 20-minute meeting, like just a meet and greet. I had seen all of Bill's work. I loved his work. Mm-hmm. He was out of our price range. Sean Cunningham did not want to pay for him, but I was like, this is the guy. Like, I love what this guy does. I love his eye. I love the way he works. And the other thing about Bill is that Bill is black. And he had shot a lot because he's black. The only directors that got to hire him were black directors, which is fucking nauseating. Wow. But what was incredible was he knew how to light for black actors and white actors in the same frame, which, by the way, is a specialty. That is a hard thing to pull off, to get those two skin tones right.
I can imagine. Until you've brought it up, I probably never, ever would have thought about that.
Yeah. It's why, the shots with Creighton Duke and the sheriff, the shots with Creighton Duke and John, the shots with Creighton Duke and Carrie, mm-hmm. those scenes are so extraordinarily well lit because I had Bill Dill.
Right.
And mind you, he was my favorite. Like, of all the people I saw their work, I was like, this guy's a genius. I want him. He sits down with me. He's coming in for a 20-minute, I'll get to know this guy. 3 hours later, he emerges from my office, walks down to his agent and says, cancel the Jackson miniseries I was going to do for ABC. I'm doing this movie.
Oh, nice.
And that's simply because we had a language about cinema, about being able to talk about other people's work and reference it in a way that said, look, the best filmmakers, the best artists are the ones who steal and make it their own.
Right.
And that's what a tremendous amount of our industry is about, because everybody's done everything. We've all done it. So now you're doing something somebody else did. How do you make that signature yours?
Right.
So with Michael, it's absolutely what he did. The thing that happened with the doc, it got funded in 2019. overfunded on Indiegogo, which was amazing, and the fans were incredible. And that's all due to TJ Bowser and Corey Kaufman. They're the ones who rolled this thing down the hill. And 2020 comes along. In the first 2 months of 2020, we had over 30 interviews in the can. And I was like, we're going to be done with this in a year. Like, this is done.
Right.
We all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah. Well, it's like back to the whole fucking world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, the other thing is that what people don't understand, because, in America in particular, people in 80% of this country, COVID was, a few months. It was an inconvenience and it was over. That was not Los Angeles.
Not to the spoiled nation that we are.
Nope. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And we were in lockdown for 2.5 years, and people don't get it. Like, they do not get it.
Right.
And so, excuse me. And so I couldn't go into people's homes and shoot them.
Right.
Because I didn't want people coming to a set. I didn't want people in front of a fucking blue screen or a green screen. Forgive me. So sorry. I wanted people to feel comfortable.
Sure.
You disarm them that way. And look, by the way, every single person on this movie was told, say whatever you want to say. You want to say I was the worst director you ever worked with? Go for it. I'm not going to be offended. And I also told people, I do not have to show up to your interviews. John, can you hang on a second? I got to get just a drink. Is that okay?
Hey, no.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll be right back.
So while Adam is choking to death off screen, I want you guys to try to focus, because that framed artwork behind him is actually the artwork for Hearts of Darkness, which is something I was actually going to mention and bring to his attention later on and show him great compliments to the artwork for the cover of it, that he's just graciously sat right down in front of. But that is it behind him. I was actually telling the listeners that what you were sitting in front of is, in fact, the artwork for the cover of Hearts of Darkness.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
It shows you at that age in your life, kind of pulling you down, the demons and so forth, and Jason's mask up. It's just, I think it works beautifully.
Well, it's, that artwork, again, Michael Felcher's responsible for it. He, without telling me, because we had another poster. Rob Lane did an absolutely incredible poster for the movie, but it was for really a horror movie, not a doc.
Gotcha.
Right. So when we finished the doc, we were all kind of looking at the poster going, this just isn't the movie anymore. Like, it's how we funded the movie, and it was, incredibly powerful to do that way. But, so without my knowing, I was down in Ecuador, actually. I was in South America visiting my mom. And Michael went to an artist named Mark Schoenbach, who he loves, who he's used for many different projects. And he described the poster he wanted. He described this very poster.
Right.
And what Michael tells me is it's as though Mark pulled the thought out of his head and threw it on a canvas. Right. And it's, that's a painted poster. I mean, that's by the way, I wanted a painted poster for Jason Goes to Hell. I did not want, the giant turd penis with teeth coming out of a silver mask. Like, that was not the poster I wanted. By the way, New Line was right. They were right. They made a great poster, and it's something everybody loves. So great. Awesome. K&B hates that poster. Bob Kurtzman hates that poster. It's like, who made that thing?
Why I love this man. Oh my God. That was great. Thank you.
You got it, brother. So I'm down in Ecuador, and I get a message from Michael, and he's like, hey, can we Zoom immediately? I was like, yeah, okay. So we get on the Zoom, and I'm literally walking out the door with my mom. And Michael says, we don't have to use this. If you don't like it, we don't have to use it. Use what? And he pops that poster on. And I'm telling you, he took my freaking breath away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that is, first off, it's my face, which of course, was like, oh my God, that's 23-year-old me. What the hell? Right. But I do have to say, there's something there's something that says not just our movie, but also where I was at the time and what happened to me on this movie.
Right.
And Sean Cunningham is really kind of how the ground is slipping underneath my heels. And so the poster really says it. And it says it in a clever and funny way, which the other poster didn't. By the way, on the Blu-ray of the movie, which is the most stacked Blu-ray I've ever heard of. It's insane. The amount of like goodies and extras that come in this thing. And I'm not just talking about the movie or the discs. There's all kinds of stuff. But there is reversible artwork of this poster and the original Rod Lane poster. So you will have the choice of that for collectors. So that I just think that's cool. Anyway, we got stuck. Then we released the director. Then I got a new director. He came on board. My best friend since I was 15, a guy named Eric Beatner, who literally lives 1 mile from my house here in El Segundo. We grew up in Westport, Connecticut together. He was, I started Skeleton Crew, my company. I started when I was 15. Wow. I owned that name when I was 15. And I have the business cards to prove it. And Eric Beatner, my brother Kip Marcus, who of course is in Jason Goes to Hell and in this doc, and a buddy of ours named Dave. The four of us were Skeleton Crew. So this guy Eric, who this Sunday is up for his 10th nomination for the Emmy for The Amazing Race for editor. On The Amazing Race, this is his 10th time. He has lost every single time. He is the Susan Lucci of editors. We joke about it constantly. At this point, he doesn't want to win. He wants to be like the guy with the most nominations who never won the award.
You gotta love that,
right? I said, look, you're right up there with Hitchcock and Kubrick and Spielberg until he finally got it for Schindler's List. So so I brought it to Eric. I brought the footage to Eric and said, look, do you want to cut this? And he did on his off time. Like he did it while cutting The Amazing Race. It's extraordinary what he pulled off. Right. And him and Michael went to work, and suddenly we had a lot more footage to make and a lot more interviews to get and a lot more stuff. And we basically went out and shot a second movie. And look, as Michael says, boy, the documentary about making this documentary would be amazing. And he's not wrong. Like, right. Just getting this thing in the can is a saga in and of itself.
So how hard was it? Because I know that you said that you physically did new up-to-date interviews with cast and crew and so forth, which is something I love because there are so many documentaries that all they do is they take whatever footage they're
heck yeah,
and then they just splice it together, or maybe you get a shitty ass Zoom quality
the worst
interview or something like that, and they throw it in a documentary, edit it all together, give you 90 minutes of home videos, and that's it.
Yep. We actually only had to do two Zooms, and there's only a little bit of Zoom footage in the movie, and then we did a extra with the people who were on Zoom because they had a lot to say and gave them more time, but not in the proper doc. We didn't do that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I will tell you, I am so with you on this. This is a huge pet peeve of mine, and I'll tell you why. The documentary Crystal Lake Nightmares, Crystal Lake Memories. Crystal Lake Nightmares was the con I was just at. Crystal Lake Memories, the problem with that doc, when people watch it, and there's only about 20 minutes on Jason Goes to Hell. It's a 4.5 hour documentary, but there's only 20 minutes on us. They did not shoot one frame of me for that doc. Not a frame. All of that footage is from His Name Was Jason. It's extra footage that they shot almost a decade earlier, and they recycled it. And every time I see that documentary, I'm like, man, that's not okay. The footage of Sean is new.
Right.
But they did not come to people like me. They didn't. And I'm sorry, I find that incredibly irresponsible. It's not a documentary. You're right. It's like, it's gathering other people. And by the way, I know there are people who worked on His Name Was Jason and on Crystal Lake Memories. So I know that there's a crossover there. But I got to tell you, be a responsible documentarian. Go shoot your footage.
Yeah. No, I mean, one, you're letting down the fans of every film. You're still changing them. And it's just a matter, in my opinion, that's very unprofessional also.
Yeah.
You have something, especially at that length, and then just kind of We'll throw them a bone. Throw you a small bone. That way, your name's in the movie.
Right. Right. I am. Look, I've been in a lot of documentaries about our industry and about horror. And most everybody comes to my house and shoots me here in my library. And everybody who does, I always have tremendous respect for. When Arrow did their edition of the movie, when Scream Factory did their edition of the movie, everything was new. They didn't recycle. I'm not saying they didn't have elements that were recycled, like they kept my commentary from back in the day. That's all great. That's archival. But when they came to do a new mini doc about something in the movie, they shot it.
Right.
That's how it works. And it's called, spending the money and not cheating out the audience. I don't respect it. I don't like it.
So you mentioned spend the money.
Yeah.
And so kind of a two-part question. Obviously, you don't have to tell me the exact dollar amount, but one, how hard was it to track down everybody that was on your list that you wanted, that you felt was definitely, not that anybody wasn't worth being a part of it, to be in it, but there were certain names that were definitely higher on the list than others. So how hard was it to track them down, schedule it in a timely manner? And then how much, you're in one part of the world, they might be in the other part, and they're like, well, I really don't want to travel.
Right.
Or I'm homebound for whatever reasons.
Sure.
My door is always open. Come on over.
Yep.
So
look, I had Rusty Schwimmer lives in Chicago, right? And we set it up, and this was in the first 2 months of shooting. Allie had family living in Chicago, and she's like, I'm going to go visit them. I'll grab a camera. And I was on Zoom with Rusty, with the director, with everybody, but Allie was there shooting her. And Peter was, giving the questions through Zoom so that it could be shot on one of our cameras in Chicago. So that's an example of like, no, we're not going to shoot you on Zoom. We're going to shoot you this way. Right. John LeMay, lives in Idaho, and right, Idaho, I believe, yeah. And we had there was a guy. Terrific filmmaker who was traveling cross country who said, I can do it. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, great. Cut to, I'm on Zoom with John. We're hanging out. I've got Peter's questions. We do the interview that way. And I will tell you, John LeMay's interview, for my money, is one of the best things in the movie. He is really funny. He's very charming, as he always has been. But it's funny. I think John got a little less serious over the years. John, when I hired John, he talks about this in the movie. When I hired John, I kind of wanted him to be Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Like, I wanted yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. And John kind of wanted to be Hamlet. And I'm telling you, 3 days in, I just went, yeah, I'm not getting Bruce Willis out of this guy. Like, he is too soulful and too dark. He had a darkness. And it's so funny because you meet John and you're like, he's the least dark person you could meet.
Right.
But as an actor, he had been on the series, on Friday the 13th, the series, for so long. I think he wanted a change. And by the way, on Friday the 13th, the series, they wanted him to be Bruce Willis in Moonlighting. It was amazing. He says, I keep getting hired to be Bruce Willis. I don't look anything like Bruce Willis. I'm like, yeah, but it's an attitude, John. Sure. But I have to say, I just spent the weekend with him at Crystal Lake Nightmares a few weekends ago. And I got to tell you, he's such a good dude. Mm-hmm. And he is really funny and charming and sweet. And like, none of that has changed. It's kind of amazing.
That's good. I'm sure that you have somehow kept in touch. Obviously you're an artist.
Yeah.
You're constantly making, and you're constantly on the move. You're not the 9 to 5, come home.
No.
Call your old friend, get together with dinner, have a beer, go bowling. Families get together for a cookout.
No, we do that. We do that too. It's just, that circle gets real small. When you make a movie, it's no different than when you're in the theater, and that's where I grew up. I grew up in the theater, and I had 2 theater companies by the time I was 21 that I was running. And what happens is you do a show, and it's sort of the showmance. People fall in love with each other. They are everything in the world to you. Everybody says I love you. Everybody's hugging each other. And by the way, here's the other thing. There's the thing about like Hollywood people say I love you and all that, and they're full of shit. No, we're not. No, we're not. It's bullshit. We do believe it. We do feel it. I have very few people that I've worked with that I don't love, that I don't have this overwhelming feeling for, that is just anything you ever need in your life, you call me, I'm there.
Okay.
And yeah. And so this happens on shows, but here's what happens at the end of the show. At the end of the show, everybody disappears. There's nothing else to do together. So suddenly you go through this postmortem of the show where you're like, did that die? And by the way, for actors, the character dies too.
Right.
Because the characters no longer have a life. That person isn't in you and alive anymore. So there's a depression that happens to everybody. And you kind of go to the next project.
Right.
And there's a whole new family.
Right.
Here's the thing. I have been lucky enough in my lifetime to have stayed not just friendly, but lovingly friendly to every cast and crew I've worked with.
That's what I was getting at. How long had it? Have you kept in touch? Because we're talking 93. Jason goes.
92 is when we shot, but 93 is when it came out. Yeah.
Right. So it's been a hot minute that you've
hell yeah,
seen some of these, or perhaps even spoken with.
Absolutely. Some of them I hadn't seen since the movie.
Right.
But I have to tell you, it didn't make any difference. We walked in the room, and this is the thing about us arty types, right? Where people go like, oh, when you say you love it, you're not really. No, you're wrong. We do. We walked in the room, and the second we saw each other, hugs and such affection. And by the way, that is captured in the movie. That is the thing that this movie does so remarkably well that I'm really proud of.
The whole setup.
You feel this insane amount of love coming off the screen. By the way, not just from cast and crew. So one of the people that was on my wish list for this movie that I didn't think I was going to be able to get was one of our two executives when we made the movie. So Mike DeLuca and Mark Ordesky were our two executives. Bob Shea ran the company, but those two guys were our point guys.
Right.
And Mike DeLuca, is a huge, mega executive now. We were never getting him to sit down for a documentary about Jason Goes to Hell. It was never going to happen. But Mark and I have stayed friends all these years. Now, Mark Ordesky, here's why this is crazy. Mark Ordesky is the guy who made the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies. He's the guy who made that happen. Okay. So he's the one who brought Peter Jackson to New Line and then shepherded those movies so much so, Mark Ordesky now lives half of his year in New Zealand.
Huh.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I was like, we're not getting Mark, but let's try.
Sure.
Ali got him on the phone, and his response was, oh, for Adam? Oh, yeah, no, I'll be there. And he came to us. He actually came to my friend Michelle's house where we shot a couple of the interviews for people who were too far out of town to make it work. Mark came in, sat down for us. Here's what's extraordinary. Mark's interview, you feel that same level of affection, not just for me, but for the material, for the people we worked with, for the way we made the movie. He's so effusive and beautiful. It's crazy. And he's a studio executive. Like, you're not expecting that.
No.
But look, I think that the big mistake with directors in general, and this translates to producers, I think a director or a producer's job, especially when it comes to set, is not to be a general. That's a big mistake. It's a big mistake. Yes, do you have to captain the ship? Do you have to keep things moving? Of course you do. Are you the vision of the movie? Absolutely. Is it a singular vision? Absolutely not. The auteur theory is a bunch of bullshit. Orson Welles had some incredible fucking artists working for him that made him look great. Right. And everybody gave all the credit to Orson Welles. And by the way, Orson Welles, personal hero of mine. I still go, he was not an auteur. Let's cut that bullshit. For me, a director and a producer, a good director and a good producer, are people who make an environment that is so joyful, that is so friendly and easy to work in, that everybody loves coming to their job, everybody loves doing the job, everybody has a stake in it. And when I hire for any movie, I demand that I meet every single person before they are hired. So if once they cull things down, because I can't meet every PA and everything else, but once they cull it down to, here's the 5 PAs we're interested in, we need 3 of them, I'm like, great, I want to meet with all 5. And I also say, give them the script. Let them read the script. Because I can tell when somebody doesn't like the project. I can tell when they're like, I'm slumming it. Okay? The minute I feel that, I'm like, listen, man, you're awesome. No harm, no foul. But this ain't the movie for you. Because it's your movie too. It's not just my movie. That's nonsense. Right. It's our movie. And collectively, I'm not going to get the best out of you if you don't love what we're doing. If you love what we're doing, heck yeah, I will take someone who's less experienced, but their affection for it is higher. Right. Because they're going to work their ass off.
Because they want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. By the way, you can get the most professional guys in the world. If they don't like what they're doing, they'll do their job. They'll do a great job. They won't do that job that's special. They won't go that extra mile for you. Tom Bellissimo, who is the physical effects guy on the movie, who did all of our pyro and our squibs and everything. I mean, he's a god. And the guy made 600 movies. He is interviewed in the piece, and he talks about how much free shit he gave to Jason Goes to Hell. Like tons of free stuff. We couldn't afford that explosion the way they did it. There's no way. We couldn't afford 200, squib hits on Kane Hodder. We couldn't afford that. But Tom and I got along so famously that he was like, I got it on a truck. It's just sitting there. Let's just do it. And it was funny because the production managers would be like, well, how much is that going to cost? He's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I got it.
Nice.
And that's the difference when you create an environment that's inviting and warm and people feel respected.
You're not just a hired body.
That's it.
You mentioned a name that someone opened their house to do an interview with. The name
Michelle.
Is this your muse?
It is.
It is. I love that woman.
It is.
I do. You talk to her, please. She's not on social media much, and so because of that, she and I have lost touch over the years. Mm-hmm. She was a big part of communication with me.
What I would suggest is look her up on Instagram, because that's really where she lives now. Like, she still has her Facebook account, but Instagram is really where you should get her. But I will tell you, Michelle and I sign all of our communications to each other. My bestie for the restie. Right. It's hilarious. I have a 13-year-old girl's relationship with Michelle. But Michelle's in class with me every week. She's been studying with me for 20 years now. We've made 3 movies together. And we are about to make a 4th, where she's going to be in the next thing that I'm doing later this year. And Michelle is, look, all of her kids, I'm Uncle Adam. Their father lives out of state. So on Father's Day, they always have dinner with me.
Oh, man.
Which is amazing.
I love that. That's the family.
Yes. By the way, in Secret Santa, the boy at the end of the movie, the kid in the back of the car, that's Michelle's son.
Oh, really? I didn't realize
that's Jaden.
That.
Yeah, that's Jaden. Jaden Hugenberger. And I'm telling you, Michelle is my life is so much better because Michelle's in it. And I got to tell you something. She's one of my wife's best friends. Nice. So, which is hilarious. Like, I got to tell my wife.
Me too.
God damn. Deborah is. Look, anybody who knows me knows, Deborah's my writing partner, my producing partner, my life partner. She is half of the ADR of Jason Goes to Hell, because that's when we met, and Sean Cunningham completely exploited her and gave her very little money. But Deb was thrilled to be with me and doing this together. And I got to tell you, she I have, again, I have very deep relationships with artists. That's my life.
Right.
And the number, and by the way, since I was a little kid, right? I always had deeper relationships with women than with men. Part of the reason is because I wanted to kiss women. The other part of the reason is that I didn't give a fuck about sports ball. I couldn't have cared. Oh God. Okay. You put the thing in the thing. Good for you.
Right.
And by the way, God bless anybody who loves it. My brother is a fanatic about sports. He literally ran digital marketing worldwide for Nike for the last 5 years. So one of Kip's best friends is Reggie Jackson. I'm not kidding you. So my brother is like, he loves that, right? That is his world.
Right.
For me, I couldn't have cared less about stuff like that. And I was always this kind of sensitive, artistic kid. And I got bullied. Like my whole childhood was a ton of bullying up until fifth grade. I became bigger than everybody and then just started beating everybody up.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Well, this is who I am. Actually, one of my students had this made for me.
Oh, nice.
This guy Danny, who's just amazing actor, and he made it for me because of the stories that are told about me that he had heard, and so for my birthday he got this from me years ago, and this actually is the name of my autobiography that I'm actively writing now, because my whole life, look, Sean Cunningham, Val Kilmer. And then, people in my personal life, I have been someone that I'll tell a quick story, and I think this will be hopefully fun for somebody. I went back to my high school reunion.
And let me interrupt you for one quick second.
Sure, of course.
We're going to take about a 2-minute break. We're gonna break for a little commercial, if you will, in YouTube land, and we are gonna pick up and continue our interview here. We'll be right back with you guys.
The popcorn can't be beat.
Welcome back, boys and girls. If you missed the show, which shame on you if you did, we are talking with a good friend and filmmaker, Adam Marcus. We are talking about Hearts of Darkness, documentary for Jason Goes to Hell.
Yep. And when we left off, you had just asked me about the T-shirt and the Bully Slayer thing. And
right.
Bully Slayer has become a big part of my life. It always was, but it's become a much bigger part of my life. So the story behind it is that I was at my high school reunion. This is a few years ago. And while I'm there, I'm, hanging out, I'm having a great time. And again, my high school's back in Connecticut, so there's not a ton of people in the entertainment industry. So it's fun. Like I get to tell stories and it's, it's fun. And again, it was very much an arts high school, even though it was a public high school.
Okay.
So a lot of amazing people. So as I'm there, this guy, Peter, walks up to me. And I hadn't seen Peter in forever, but I recognized him immediately. I was like, dude, what's up? And he walks over and he goes, hey, you're a big part of the reason why I'm here. And I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And I'm thinking, like, did I sleep with his girlfriend? What did I do? Like, I did something here. And I said, yeah, why, Peter? What was that? He goes, do you remember when I first arrived in Westport, Connecticut? And I said, it was 6th grade, right? Like, you came in middle of the year. He says, yeah, I came in about mid-October. I was like, uh-huh. He said, and you know how cliquey Westport can be. I was like, oh, yes, I do know. Our high school was like Heathers. It was so cliquey.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. And the amount of cocaine at that high school, holy crap. It was it was the mid-'80s, and every one of our dances could have been snow-themed.
So it does snow up north, that's for sure.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does. But I love my school. I love my town and I love the school I went to, but I was like, yeah, I know how cliquey it can be.
Right.
He said, so for the first month I was at school, I was really bullied and no one was my friend, just nobody. And I said, oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. He says, well, let me tell you what happened. I was like, okay. He said, so beginning middle of November, I'm sitting in the lunchroom alone in the cafeteria, just completely alone. And you walked up to me and you saw the table was empty and you said, "Hey, anybody sitting here?" And I said, "No, no." And so you sat down across from me and you talked to me for lunch. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "Yeah. The next day, you brought Nolan Casey over and they hung out with me at lunch too." He said, "By the end of the week, my table was full and I had 6 new friends and I never ate lunch alone again." And I was like, "Oh, well that," and I suddenly was like, yeah, I did do that. No, I remember doing that. Yeah. He's like, "Yeah." He said, and then I was getting beaten up by Bobby Meyer and you went and beat the shit out of him so he would stop. And I was like, oh, I did. I did do that. About 20 minutes later, Peter comes up to me with 3 other guys. All 3 of them had the same stories.
Wow.
And I suddenly remembered, and it's funny because I have a photographic memory from my childhood, and I'm not throwing that around loosely. I have a very strange memory. I remember everything from my childhood down to what the sunlight felt like, the temperature. I mean, all of it. It's very strange.
Wow.
And so all of this stuff flooded back to me, and I was like, "Oh no, I remember every one of those." And look, there was this period of time early in my life, really from like fifth grade to 7th grade, where I had been beaten up so much. I was a really skinny kid. I was an art kid. I loved playing with the girls. Again, mostly because I got to kiss them. But I got to play with the girls. And I got to tell you, man, it was very tough being, a skinny, artsy, girl-loving kid. And I got my ass kicked a lot. And I got to tell you, the 5th grader in me had it. Like I'd had enough, and lost.
Coming back from that young of an age too. It really is.
Yep. And I lost my shit on this one kid, and I beat him to a pulp on the playground. I got in serious trouble for it. But a remarkable thing. It's one of the best memories I have of my mom. She came to school because the principal, it took 3 teachers to get me off this kid. And I was bloodied. I mean, my hands were bloodied. His nose, it was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother is sitting there across from this principal, Dr. Elliott. And he had a pipe. He always had a pipe in his mouth. And he says to my mother, he says, "Mrs. Marcus, what Adam has done here, I mean, it's criminal. This is all illegal, what he's done. I mean, we don't know what we're going to do." And my mother grabbed the pipe out of his mouth, turned it around and poked him with it and said, "No, sir, this is illegal." And she drops the pipe on his desk and said, "You people have not done one thing to protect my son since he's been in this school for 5 years. You can give him any punishment you deem fit inside these walls, but I will tell you this now. I am letting my son know it is open season on anyone who hits him. If someone hits him, he's going to hit them twice as hard back. And now it's on you."
I love your mom.
And my mom said, "Now I'm going to take my son out of this building and I'm going to buy him ice cream to celebrate." And I cut to 5 minutes later. I am at Carvel with my mom, my hands still bloodied, eating ice cream. Okay. And so that moment in my life was really a microcosm of what was going to happen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of the constant sort of walls I would come up against, and also an attitude that I had grown of, no, you will not beat me down. By the way, that goes, and listen, that's for every filmmaker out there. The industry as a whole, other filmmakers, there's a lot of people who are going to bully you out of the thing you want to do with your life. There are going to be a lot of, your family is going to do this to you.
Sure.
Bullies come in all shapes and sizes, and they can come at you as your parents. They can come at you as your siblings, cousins, uncles. You don't have to be bullied. You don't.
Yeah.
And
or verbal, it all hurts.
And right now, we are at a very weird tipping point in this country where the bullies have kind of taken over. And I will tell you, the only thing a bully hates is when you stand up to them.
Yep.
Because they don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
I am so abhorrent. I find it so abhorrent the way that people treat other people now, and gotta stop. It's got to stop. We got to find some civility. And so my autobiography is called Bully Slayer. I am all about pushing this agenda of like, we gotta stop. Look, the online bullying I've dealt with on Jason Goes to Hell alone. Holy crap. But by the way, always deal with it with kindness. Mm-hmm. Take away their ammunition, take away the thing that anger. The number of times somebody is, I mean, look, people have wished me ass cancer for Jason Goes to Hell. And my response to that now, it used to be, I used to like curl up and like, I don't want to deal with it and get away from me. That's why I didn't want to make the documentary at first. Now, someone comes at me with that much anger, I go, okay, cool. Can I just ask you something? Who hurt you?
Right.
Because this isn't about a movie.
Yeah.
This isn't about me taking Jason away in Jason Goes to... No, it's not. You're having a reaction to somebody who did something really bad to you, and you're putting it on me in a movie, and that's fine. I understand that it's got to come out some way.
Sure.
But this isn't about my movie. This is about you. So what's up?
Yeah.
You know, and the number of people who like they don't know what to do when you go there. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, did your dad hit you? Is that what this is? I mean, like, talk to me about it.
Right.
And it freaks people out. But I will tell you, I have several friends who started as people who hated my movie, and now we're pals.
So I got to ask you, at your reunion,
yeah,
I'm going to turn the table on you. Did you happen to have a guy come up to you? Guy, girl, whomever.
Yeah.
To you, a previous classmate. Adam, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. How long has it been? And you turn around and you're like, you were the fucking dick who made me want to hate my life. And now you're standing in front of me trying to be like,
you bet.
Like we were great friends. And it's sad. It's ironic that, they look at it in the sense of, man, we were just kids. I didn't mean anything by it, over troubled water, dude. But bygones be bygones. But yet, do they realize the years of therapy and mental abuse that they did to you, even after the fact?
The great thing is, look, I'm very lucky in. And by the way, I love that you brought that up. Actually, I have been. I have been really championing men starting to recognize their mental health and their struggles, because men don't. It's sort of like how we don't go in for prostate exams. Like we don't want to know.
Right.
If you don't say it, it won't happen to us. It's all bullshit.
The ostrich syndrome.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I'm lucky enough to have never had to have therapy about the bullying. That's never been a thing, because I corrected the ship so well for myself that I found my own solution emotionally. And as I said, I don't even engage in the sort of angry version of it anymore. I come at people with so much love that they don't know what the fuck to do with me, which is way more fun. It's more fun to watch a bully like, wait a minute, we were talking about Jason. Now we're talking about my mom treating me bad. What? I love that. I adore it. I will tell you this. I think that I love that you brought it up, man. I think that I have been in therapy for other things, and by the way, for bullying of a different kind. Actually, interestingly enough, for narcissism, and narcissism is a big component of the bullying world.
Yeah,
I have dealt with with a couple of narcissists, one in particular that really rocked my universe. And I gotta say, man, like I wish men out there, I hope all the guys that are watching this interview, take a second and check yourself. Getting help now is so accessible. Most medical plans have some sort of mental health component now. Finally, our country and our society is starting to realize that that's a really important part of our health, of our regular health, is our mental health. Yeah. And I really advocate for men getting out there. I'm not saying that women shouldn't. Women do, because look, here's the thing: women are smarter. That's it. They're emotionally smarter. They're smarter. It's also why I love hanging out with women. Like someone like Michelle, right? Like talk about someone who's in tune with the universe. I mean, for God's sake, this is the most L8 sounding thing I'm going to say ever, but she does sound baths for people and Reiki and all this stuff, and she's amazing. And there's an emotional intelligence that comes with that dudes are so busy being dudes that we forget. No, we need help too, man. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to, No,
and I agree with you, and I really appreciate your openness and your vulnerability to it. I sincerely do. I know I've been in and out throughout the years, and the hardest part is being honest with yourself.
You bet.
If you can't go to therapy and discuss what the real problem is, if you go in there and you beat around the bush, you're wasting everybody's time.
Absolutely.
And it's hard.
And look, sometimes you don't know what it is. Sometimes you don't know what the fuck it is. Right. I will tell you, in my own journey with it, and I work with a psychiatrist, not a therapist, because I have a reaction to therapists only because my dad is a therapist and I've been around that my whole life. Yeah. I will tell you, sometimes you don't know where the problem is, or what it is that happened to you, or what it is that triggers you. And I got to say, like, a good doctor, or a good therapist for that matter, will question you enough. And I will tell you, the scariest thing I ever had to do was to name the thing I was afraid of.
Yes.
Right? So when you get to that, like, everything becomes easier. You're like, oh shit, that's why I do this, and this. That's why, I put my life in jeopardy this way. Right. That's why I make bad choices around this kind of person. And it's, dude, it's a really powerful, kind of amazing thing. And I got to tell you,
your tongue, and until you
yes,
can't openly admit it and say it.
Yep.
It doesn't help.
Right. Someone else saying it to you. Now, by the way, I will say this, and it's funny. It's Michelle again. Michelle and I we spend about an hour or two every Sunday night talking, just on the phone, just gabbing and downloading each other on the week and whatnot. And I got to tell you, she made a couple of revelations about me that I had not heard before. That I'm sure my wife had been trying to tell me, but when it's your partner, you don't hear it the same way.
Right.
But hearing it from a third party, you're suddenly like, oh. And those conversations only happen when you're open to getting better and feeling stronger. By the way, and we're not talking about a weakness here. That's the thing that men have to get over. It's not weak. It's not. There's strength in saying, I want help. I want to work with somebody who can actually make me feel better about myself and make me more effective,
If you can sit at a bar and unload to a total stranger who's serving you beers all night long,
right?
Why not do it to actually help yourself and your family and your world and your
100%. 100%, dude.
Yep.
So, and I will say, because of that, I had last year was terrible, and I was very open about it on social media because, again, I was trying to get people to really hear this so that they could help themselves. Because for me, if I'm going through any kind of journey that's making me feel better or something that's making my life better, I want to share it with people. I want to go like, listen, and it's not about me. It's about, I'm telling you my story so that you're not afraid to tell your story. Right. And correct your life. And so I had gone through a nightmare year last year, like just the single worst of my life. And part of that was that it was making it very tough for me to write, which has never happened to me. Like I don't get writer's block. I write all the time. And I only wrote 2 scripts last year. And that is way low on the bar for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, this year, especially the last couple of months, total turnaround. And it's simply because I went to find answers. And in finding those answers, suddenly I was like, oh my God, I feel creative again. I've got great ideas again. I'm like, the machinery's working, you know? And so to that end, I know how much you love Secret Santa. And so Skeleton Crew is about to start its latest ultra low budget thriller. And it is a comedic thriller. It is a murder mystery called How to Survive a Game Night.
A game. I love it. I like just how to survive
a game night.
I love that.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are we with this?
Deb and I are currently writing the script. We're almost done with the screenplay, but we've already assembled a cast. We've got our cast. You will recognize a lot of faces from Secret Santa, but then a lot of new faces that you haven't seen before.
I'd be getting my own room, or am I going to be in a trailer on this one?
Absolutely. Sure. Of course. Okay. No, dude, I got to tell you, like, I am such a giant fan of sort of, the Agatha Christie style of murder mystery.
Sure.
I love the idea of the detective giving that 30-minute wrap up at the end of the story. Like and talking about shit that never happened in the story. And you're like, wait a minute, I never saw that scene. But there's something so delightful about it. I think Rian Johnson has done an incredible job with the Knives Out movies. Mm-hmm. I think that kind of reignited my passion for these films.
Okay.
And so I thought, okay, if I'm going to do one, how is it an Adam Marcus movie? And truly, this movie is literally the movie that says to Secret Santa, hold my beer.
Yes.
it is fucking brutal. There is a thing that I wrote, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I handed it to Deb to do markup on it while I took a walk. I went and took a walk. I came home. And when I came home, the thing that I wrote, which made me laugh out loud as I wrote it, like I actually was just guffawing.
Right.
I walked in and I knew I was pushing an envelope, like in a big way. And I walk in and Deb is sitting on the couch and she turns to me with narrowed vision and she just goes, "You dirty, dirty man." And I was like, oh, then I have done my job. If I can offend Deb, if I can make her go, what the hell? She's like, how are we going to get actors to do this? I'm like, I'll get the actors to do it.
Right.
And by the way, my reasoning with her, and I will tell you this, is actually really interesting. At one point, I was going to make this movie a drama. At one point, I was going to make this like a more serious film.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was worried about pushing the boundaries. And I was worried about, like, I don't want to get fucking canceled for something that's just comedy. I don't want that kind of, right? And then the episode of South Park came out.
Okay.
And I went, fuck that, man. Yeah. Like, these guys are that brave. Fuck it. I'm going to be brave. And those dudes, those fucking maniacs who don't give a fuck, who care. They don't care. They don't, and I love them for it. Like they just don't care. I really honor those guys because they do it for comedy. Everything's about comedy. They don't care if you're pissed off. They don't care about your feelings. It's comedy. And I think comedy has to come back to a place where we do push the envelope, where we do say things that are outrageous and shocking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We got to stop. Like, by the way, this is my side of the fence. Like, I have always been a liberal. I'm a lifetime liberal. That's who I am. I'm not even going to say Democrat. I'm going to say progressive. I'm somebody who wants the world to be a better place for everybody. I want every kid to get the same shot. I want everyone to be able to love whoever they want to love. I want women to have rights and equal rights because they still don't.
No.
Crazy shit like that, just crazy shit.
Right.
But I will tell you on our side of the fence, man, we got to stop. We got to stop policing thought. We got to stop policing the verbiage that people use. I'm not saying, look, someone who's a bigot and offensive piece of shit, great. Get lost.
Right.
Like, I have no time for you. We got no room on the ark for you.
Agreed.
But you know what, man? Like, if we keep censoring our world,
what are we gonna have left?
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. And by the way, the people you shackle the most are the artists. And artists tend to be the most progressive people. If you're shackling artists, you're killing your own message, because we are the messengers. We are the people. I understand that everybody thinks they're an influencer. I got it. But you know what? Ask people about a movie they saw 30 years ago. They still are able to quote it. They're not going to quote your fucking tweet from last week. That's the difference.
Bring me back Red Fox.
Yeah.
When is the last time you think you have ever seen in its entirety Blazing Saddles?
Oh, dude, I watch it all the time.
You've watched because you own it.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Tell me the last time you've actually seen it aired on any network.
Oh, dude. And by the way, if they aired it, they would bleep the hell out of it. By the way, when that awful, disgusting, hideous fucking word is used by someone like Mel Brooks,
right?
It's being used for the right reasons. It's look, dude. When Secret Santa premiered in Glasgow at Fright Fest, and I couldn't be there. We got stuck because of the beast from the east, the snowstorm that literally put a half an inch of snow on England, and the entire country shut down. Right. So I'm stuck in London. I can't get to Glasgow. I'm stuck in London with the guy who runs the festival, with Alan Jones, the film critic, who had bought our movie that weekend, who bought our movie for distribution in the UK, right?
Right.
They show the movie at Glasgow, and we're eating at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant steak, because my partner's husband, he cuts Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so we were all so depressed that we couldn't get to Glasgow that he was like, listen, I'm going to call Gordon's people, see if I can get us in. So we cut to this like incredible dinner. By the way, Gordon Ramsay's no joke. I've eaten at Hell's Kitchen, like on the show. I've been on the show.
Right.
It is not a joke. Like, his food, anybody get a chance to eat some Gordon Ramsay cuisine, oh my God, you're in for it, because it's fucking extraordinary.
I do love him.
It's amazing. I mean, the food, there's a reason that he became who he is, and it's the food. Right. That said, we're sitting at dinner, and suddenly the tweets start coming after the movie finishes, and like the reviews were incredible. Like, people got it. They loved it. I mean, they were out of their minds. And then there was one tweet that Alan Jones, the critic, handed me, showed me on his phone. And the tweet was, really, Fright Fest? Homophobic, misogynistic, gay bashing, it went down the line, right? Anti-Semitic, all this stuff. This is the best Fright Fest can do, Secret Santa. And Alan Jones said, that's the poster of our movie. And that was on the poster.
Right.
In England, that was on the poster. And I was like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Because this idiot didn't get the point.
Right.
The point of Secret Santa is complete inclusion. The people who act that way are the bad guys, you knuckleheads. I'm with you. But you have to show it in order to say something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can show it through character and keep the audience laughing, you did your job.
Well, I am definitely looking forward to I'm looking forward to anything you put out.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. You and Deborah you're a great team.
Thank you.
Professionally. I've seen your pictures of the two of you. You're a great team. Personally, I love both of you. And I apologize, and please send her my best.
I will.
Tell her I am sorry that I have not yet invited her either on
she'd love to.
Or to join you.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I'll have her on the Bashing Adam show.
I love it. Do it. Do it. Do it. She will give you stories that I will never give you. So it's kind of perfect. No, look, dude, the trick with we've been together for 3 decades, and the trick is we never stop dancing with each other.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's a trick. Yeah. Yeah. But I will say, because I would be totally irresponsible if I didn't, I would be a bad producer. Because you had asked me earlier about this and I didn't answer you, and my apologies. That motherfucker.
That's it.
Hearts of Darkness Making the Final Friday is going to be coming out from Synapse through Red Shirt Releasing, which is Michael's personal releasing company. Okay. And he does an incredible job. We had other people who wanted the movie, and I was like, no one's going to love this movie the way Michael does. Like, nobody's going to treat it the right way. Right. Not that they wouldn't treat it the right way, but Michael just goes the extra mile. Right. I will tell you that the amount of stuff, the movie itself is 107 minutes, right? The package, the Blu-ray is a double disc set, and it is over 4 hours of material.
Nice.
And it is 4 hours of material that I'm telling you is a joy to watch. Like, there's not one boring minute. There's no filler. It is an incredibly introspective, interesting, funny, charming piece of material. And I think people just don't know what's coming. So that's coming. That should be out it's going to be out to the backers, to everybody who backed the movie. It'll be out to them a month before it goes street date. Nice. So we are hoping to have it out right at Halloween. Okay. For everybody. Beautiful. So it means the backers will get it, the end of September, beginning of October. So yeah, dude, we're committed to crossing this finish line in a way that everybody is treated with respect, everybody's treated with love. Those people who donated to this thing, I mean, they made the movie. They literally made the movie. I've spent 6 years not getting paid. So that's been great fun.
Some for everybody to look forward to. And with that being said, when I use the word everybody, I've got a really cute little story.
Please.
For you.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, this was, and I actually had to find it scroll back through messages on the Witching Hour podcast Instagram page. Through private messages, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I get almost to the very end where it actually stops. 155 weeks ago, 3 years ago, I had posted something. I think it was the anniversary it had something to do with you. It had something to do with Friday the 13th. I don't remember what my post was.
It was probably for the 30th anniversary of Jason Goes to Hell.
You know what? I think that was when we had done our interview, as a matter of our first one.
Because it was August 13th, 93, and it was...
That's right.
Yeah.
So I get a direct message sent to me, attractive young blonde. Says, hey, John, I happen to see that you like Friday the 13th and Jason, and I think that's awesome of you. I just thought I'd stop by and introduce myself because I was actually in Jason Goes to Hell. And she left it at that. I'm like, well, you got to give me more than that. So I immediately get right back to her. I said, well, hell, I said, come on the show. She's like, no. God, I was only a baby.
Brooke.
It was Brooke. Literally a baby. Unaccredited in the film on IMDb. But she said, that she just has the utmost respect and love for it. She said, she's like, it would be a waste of your time to have me on the show. What am I going to tell you? I don't remember any of it.
Right.
Little.
Right. Her mom and her both have an extra on the disc nice. About their relationship to the film. And also, I don't know if she told you this, but Brooke is the granddaughter of the filmmaker who made I Spit on Your Grave.
She did not.
That's her grandpa. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So her horror bona fides are pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, she's got
They
some
really are.
deep roots.
I actually just she was with John LeMay, myself, Andy Block, Stephen Williams, Kane Hodder, Carrie Keegan, Adam Cranner, Bob Kurtzman. We were all at Crystal Lake Nightmares just a couple weeks ago, right here in LA.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, no, I see Brooke all the time. She is an extraordinary, lovely, remarkable young woman, and I will tell you, it was actually the first time since the movie that she and the two people who played her parents on screen got together. I have a photograph of the three of them in their reunion, and it is freaking adorable.
That's
adorable.
I will definitely have to tag her and make sure that she gets a copy of this so she can
love it.
Hear her name on the show.
I love it.
Boys and girls, please help me in thanking Mr. Adam Marcus here. The Hearts, excuse me, not the, it is Hearts.
Hearts of Darkness.
Hearts of Darkness coming out this season.
October.
Very
October.
soon.
Yeah.
Very soon, as a matter.
Couple months away.
Couple months.
We're almost there.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to everything. Please give the two ladies in your life, Michelle and Deb, my love.
I will.
If Michelle questions it, just tell her the guy that kept bugging you about Secret Santa, love, love, love. It was
She'll know.
That actually, she said, I bugged Adam enough, and she's the one who got me the 11-inch poster that has the entire cast signature on it, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, most of the cast and crew, in fact. It's,
yes, exactly. It's completely full of everything.
Yeah.
But thank you for that, and thank you for your time. I hope you have a great night, and
Thank you,
I'm sure I will talk to you soon. Boys and girls, thank you for joining me with the Witching Hour podcast. Please be sure to hit the little subscribe button. It's down here on one of our sides, and I will see you guys real soon. And as always, remember to please keep it evil.